Florist Cyclamen or Cyclamen. I believe these got burnt by a little bit of fertilizer, but you can still see a very unique plant. Okay, they are cordate shaped, so heart-shaped foliage. Okay, almost to a reniform or circular leaf. Okay, so that is unique to this particular plant. And then also a very, very dark leaf, very dark green to almost it almost becomes a dark, I don't know, dark bluish to brown or something like that. But they always have this sort of a white, it almost looks like whitewashed right around the middle of the leaf. Okay, so palmate venation that occurs there in different directions, but then around the middle of the leaf it'll have this sort of whitewash look. And then the margins are very much, it almost just looks like the leaf is diseased, like it's got a bunch of bumps around the margin. It's not necessarily, you know, ciliate or cuspided or whatever the case is. It's very, very unique to this particular plant. Okay. And then once it begins to bloom, white blooms, red blooms, pink blooms, purple. Okay. You'll notice that, it might be best to show it over here. Well, you can see that this is a bud. It will eventually break out into a bloom, but it begins to nod. So by nod, I mean that it comes up at a sort of a vertical angle and then begins to curl over from the weight of the particular bud. And once the flower begins to bloom, it stays that way, all right? But then you've got these five petal flowers, okay? So once this, say this is beginning to, or this is blooming there, and kind of standing up like that, it's got two petals that occur sort of in an upward fashion, one petal that occurs in that downward fashion, and two on the side. Okay, so it's sort of in the same same vein as the pansy one. Okay, and then you'll also notice that it's got a very deep center. Okay, so the eye of this particular flower is very deep, and then the reproductive structures are in there and not very, they don't seem to be all that prevalent, okay? Very soft texture on the petals, so you need to feel that, make sure you feel that, and you can pass that around. But again, the eye of the flower is very, very deep and very unique. All right, so look for the nodding flower structures, okay? Very soft flower structures, and then these rubbery leaves, dark green with the whitewash and the unique serrations. Okay. Again, these are typically used more as pot plants, where I'm concerned. I don't typically see these planted outside so much. You can, but again, once it gets hot, they're going down for sure. They're a little finicky as far as I'm concerned, but how far is that? Kind of depends. Okay.
So the serrate edges is typical of